But I'm sorry, but putting it up your bum is just funny.
Flight 815 crash landed, but where there's weird jungle noises and a polar bear. What the fuck is going on over there? Helen
and Alex
will guide you through. If you've seen Lost 20 times,
or if you're brand new,
welcome to our show. It's
Dharma Fish Biscuits. Hello and welcome to Dharma Fish Biscuits, your new favourite Lost podcast.
We're your hosts, Helen and Alex. We're going episode by episode, spoiler-free, bringing you all the hot takes that absolutely no one ever asked for.
You can find us on Instagram at Dharma Fish Biscuits Pod. You could email us at dharmafishbiscuitspod@gmail.com. You could join our Patreon for free at patreon.com/dharmafishbiscuits. We'll be posting some occasional inside info and bonuses and the spoilerific versions of our episodes.
Instead of going beat by beat in our episodes, we will usually aim to focus our conversation on the character that the episode centres around, and then circle back to what we missed. In this episode, there are a few characters that get flashbacks, so we'll deal with the flashbacks first, and then just go chronologically through the rest of the episode.
That sounds like a plan to me. Shall we dive in?
Sure thing. What season and episode title are we?
That's a good point. This week, we're talking about Season 1, Episode 2, Pilot, Part 2. Let's go!
Let's go!
Pilot, Part 2 opens exactly where Pilot Part 1 finishes. We have Charlie, Jack, and Kate walking through the jungle.
I think you said it before that, like, you very rarely watched each episode of the pilot separately, and it was kind of a reminder starting to watch this one that, like, yeah, this is kind of just like one long episode. They kind of structure them quite nicely so that they both have their sort of rises and falls of action and dynamics and things, but they still are basically one continuous story. And they're both the kind of like exception to the rule when it comes to the kind of flashback format.
I was really interested to see that they didn't air on the same night, which I feel is quite unusual. Like when it first started on September 22nd, 2004, they did only air Part 1. And I was like, that's bizarre, because I know like a lot of shows will have like a 2-hour premiere. And given like how much hype there was around the Lost pilot, I'm surprised they were just like, but only Part 1.
I think if you look at what's contained in the episodes, there is so much in terms of both action and building up the characters and things that I can see now, looking back on it, that like, yeah, these do work as individual episodes.
I mean, maybe this is the hill I will die on, that it should have been a 2-hour. Like, we talked last time about how many characters are like not in Part 1. Sawyer has no lines at all.
But people need time to process, I think. Like, if you have a massive ensemble cast like you do here, you can't just like throw everybody at the viewer from day one. That's too many people to sort of get on board with, I think. It's kind of smart to focus on like a small group and then sort of let the concentric
Branch
circle
out
get bigger and bigger, yeah.
Yeah. Which then is interesting that Charlie was one of the immediate people they thought they had to right away introduce.
Main character Charlie. Yeah.
And Shannon, lest we forget.
She has some great moments in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
So we said we were sort of going to handle the flashbacks first and then go to on-island action.
Yeah, should we go straight into some flashbacks?
Let's do it. We see Charlie's heroin-related flashback. It's kind of the other piece of the puzzle to what we saw with Jack and Rose in the last episode. He's sort of really like tapping his ring against the armrest in a way that is irritating the shit out of everyone else on the plane. Because in this scene, the plane is dead silent. Like, if you've ever been on a plane, you know that like the background noise from the engines and stuff is like pretty hardcore. The sound of one guy tapping his ring against a handrest wouldn't really stick out that much. But in this scene, it's like dead silent, and it's like,
yeah.
Which I would hate, and I would probably call a cabin crew member and be like, there's a guy.
Can you stop?
Would you be able to ask him?
To get Cindy on the job, she'll sort it out.
Yeah.
I did think it was weird how, like, on that plane he's having such a terrible withdrawal experience, and yet by the time the plane crashes, he's functioning pretty well. I mean, I know he makes some poor decisions by going to the cockpit to get his heroin back, but
Yeah, you're right. We haven't seen him kind of suffering any withdrawal yet. What? He had heroin on his person on the plane.
I was going to say, let's talk about this, because he goes to the bathroom and gets his heroin out of his shoe. I'm pretty sure they do extensive enough checks that they would find it in a shoe, wouldn't they?
Especially taking off your shoe is like a classic thing in American airports because they had like the Unabomber. It's like part of the... And also this is a...
It's a post 9/11 world.
It's a post 9/11 world, but this plane is kind of just an exception to that in terms of its appearance, its functionality, so maybe that extended to the airport as well.
Also, Cindy, the air hostess, is now one of the handful of characters that actually does have lines in both episodes of the pilot.
Main character Cindy.
I don't think we actually know her name yet. Sorry, everyone. Is there anything any more 2004 than a checkered van? Were you a checkered van girly?
No, I've never been a van girly. I've never borne a van upon my foot. But I was never a Converse person either. I'm going to take a wild guess and assume you've kind of been a Converse person.
No, I've become a Converse person in my old age. But yeah, I was like fully into Vans and then transitioned from van to DMs.
There's this massive plot hole about how Charlie goes right to the front of the plane in order to take some heroin. And then obviously there's a plane crash at the front part of the plane and separates from the main fuselage.
Yeah, and somehow
I actually Googled this because I was like, what is the explanation? And it's just a plot hole. We don't need to get into it. Yeah. Or actually, no, the answer that some people wrote online was, well, the island wanted him to be with the others.
Helen, don't get me started on this. This is my main bug. I know there are some... I'm a Lost apologist because I think Lost is generally great, but I will also admit that there are some flaws, and nothing irritates... Actually, apart from people saying they were dead the whole time. Spoiler alert, they're not dead the whole time. The biggest thing that annoys me about the Lost fandom is people who are such Lost apologists that anything that happens, they're like, it's because that's what the island wanted.
Fully agree. I mean, glad to be on the same page. Sometimes, TV writers just make a silly little boo-boo, and that's okay.
They make a silly boo-boo, or they just very transparently make shit happen for drama, and then are like, oh, it's because the island wants it to happen. Fuck off. Sorry, I did have one more Charlie note. What's going on with his nail polish? He's got like a reverse French tip where like he's just done like his cuticles black, but the rest of his nails are unpainted. I'm like, how...
He scratched it off, didn't he?
Did he? Is that what happened? I don't know. I was just like, I don't understand how like just the bottom of your finger is painted.
I think if you're Charlie and you're a heroin addict and you're kind of a nervous guy, you're going to be doing a bit of like scratching at the, how like when you have nail polish and it starts to flake off, it usually will start to flake off around the top.
Around the top, yeah.
So if you're scratching at the place where it's already flaking off, and that's so you're kind of working from the top down. Okay. There's a reason why I generally don't wear nail polish, is because I simply can't be trusted with it. This would be me, Je suis Charlie, once more.
I just love the fact that this is the first time we get the like dual perspective kind of thing, and we like see him run past Rose and Jack, and it's like, oh, we've seen that scene, and this is like a thing that we'll see happen in more flashbacks, is like see someone else's perspective of the same thing happening, and I just think that it's really nice.
Yes,
I really enjoy that as a filmic storytelling style.
It is nice.
Yeah. Also, Shannon's indignant, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, he does push past like the space in between their legs and the seat in front, which is not a lot of space.
What's our other flashback, Helen?
Kate on a plane. She's a criminal. Ooh.
Oh my god. He says there's always a chance they'll believe your story.
Yes, well, and he says, does he say I know I did, or I know I do?
It's the I know I sure do. The sure in there implies sarcasm to me. Like, I sure do.
And we know that he is afraid of her or afraid of what she might do, because when he does wake up at the end, he goes, where is she? In a way that implies threat.
Really dedicated to the job there. I've just been in a plane crash and I've just woken up from being unconscious for 48 days.
First thing he thinks about in the morning, last thing he thinks about when he goes to bed at night. She also did the one thing you're really not supposed to do, which is put someone else's mask on before your own.
Well, so on my second watch, because on my first watch I was like, oh, that's nice, she put her mask on, then she helped him, and then on the second watch I was like, I'm not really sure what happens, because she does immediately, starts putting it on, and then suddenly it's not on her face anymore.
She puts it on, takes a bit of a whiff, and then she puts it on him, and she gets another one for herself.
Oh, did she put the same one on him?
I think so.
Oh, because I was just like, where did that mask go?
But I also noticed that she was really struggling from her seated position with her hands in handcuffs to get the oxygen masks. With her hands handcuffed, she could have still undone her seatbelt and simply stood up. I'm just saying.
I mean, I was just impressed. She then gets the key off the marshal and unlocks it, and I feel like that was some real dexterity of the fingers there to be able to bend down to reach the lock. It's very nice of her to save him. So maybe the criminal's not so evil after all.
Criminal with a heart of gold. Or could she be falsely accused?
Oh, who can say? I know I sure believe her.
I can't watch that scene now without thinking about Connor's comment about how once the back of the plane came off, they would literally just fall straight down. There would be no more sort of airborne, just it's like a sort of parallel universe that opens up in my mind where that whole part of the plane just falls immediately straight down and into the water. No survivors.
I'm so sorry that Connor has ruined the show, ruined the entire premise of the show for you.
Should we go back to... We're going to go through the events on the island pretty much just as they happen in chronological order.
I just want to point out about that opening scene. When Kate asked Charlie what he was doing, he says he was getting sick. Have you ever heard anyone say, I was getting sick?
It's like when TV writers try to write English slang, but they actually don't know English slang, so they just say something normal but make it a bit weird. I want to ask a question. Is Charlie a coward?
I don't think so. I think Charlie... I don't know if I'd go as far as hero, and I don't know how much of this is being influenced by where his story will go, but I do think it's interesting that, right from the start, he is ready to join the trek.
But he only did that to get his heroin back.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Well, did he? Because then he goes to...
I mean, you're right. He joins the hike up the mountain, which he does no reason to do.
Yeah, there's no heroin up the mountain. He's got his heroin by that point.
It's actually very unclear what his motivation is there, unless it's purely to sort of try and impress Kate and Shannon.
I was going to say, what we see is that he decides he's going when Shannon says she's going.
Also, he's just taken heroin by rubbing it into his gums, so his decision-making might not be at its peak. I actually had to Google this. You can't take heroin by rubbing it into your gums. You can do that with cocaine. It is not an established method for heroin.
Thanks for doing the research. I wasn't sure about that, but as someone who does not have any first-hand experience of heroin, I was like, I don't know, maybe that is a thing.
Because it's definitely heroin, isn't it? We know that.
Oh, it's definitely heroin. Yeah. I mean, it's brown. I think if your cocaine is brown, again, not a huge drug user, but if your cocaine is brown, maybe you should check your sources. Yeah. Also, the Every Trek Needs a Coward made me think of Lord of the Rings, and I have just finished watching for the first time the extended editions of Lord of the Rings, where Dominic Monaghan is famously either Merry or Pippin. I forget which one. I promise I did spend 11 hours
Merry.
Watching them. Yeah, Merry. Who I would say is sort of the coward of the trek there as well.
He kind of is, yeah, he kind of is. I was like, my first thought was Pippin, but I was like, no, Pippin actually is brave.
Also, side note, Dominic Monaghan's accent in Lord of the Rings is so fucking bad.
Oh, because he does like a sort of West Country accent, right?
Well, attempts to do a West Country accent, but it seems to be like every 10 words he'll say one word in a West Country accent, and the rest of it is just his, what I'm assuming is natural Manchester accent, because he sounds just like Charlie, and I'm so glad they just let him be from Manchester here, because I don't think accents are his strong suit. No offense, Dominic Monaghan.
You're right, it's inconsistent. It's just never bothered me. I never even thought to think about it. My worst moment with Dominic Monaghan in Lord of the Rings is when he's going into the battle. He figures out that Éowyn is Éowyn. He kind of turns around and he goes, "My lady," in a way that feels very weirdly sexualized.
My worst moment in the entirety of Lord of the Rings is every time we see a fucking hobbit's foot. honestly, it made me feel physically sick every time they would like do a little close up of those like horrible hairy feet. No offense to the hairy foot community, but really was not what I needed. The prosthetic feet were doing too much. The camera work was doing too much.
It's giving Tarantino.
Anyway, this is not a Lord of the Rings podcast.
No, I guess that will be our next podcast.
Shannon is sunbathing on the island, and my favorite thing about this scene, I don't know if you know this, they made a series of action figures in season 1 of Lost, and the Shannon action figure was her sunbathing.
It's so disrespectful. It's so disrespectful. Like, put some respect on Shannon's name. She can do actions that are not sunbathing. My God.
It's just the funniest thing that they were like, what do we... Oh, I guess we should make some female action figures as well. Wow, just use the one where she's in a bikini. Did they do one for Sun as well? Or... I'm going to Google this. Yeah, they did. But once again, it's like, sorry, why are the female action figures just them in bikinis?
That's really abominable. I mean, she's lying on the... I do get bothered by the fact that she's lying literally amidst the rubble, surrounded by corpses. They said in the last episode, like, we need to do something about the dead bodies, like, we need to deal with them in some way. And she just said, no, the rescue people will deal with it. But they must be... I mean, if this is a tropical, warm environment, they're starting to stink at this point.
Yeah.
And... like, she's just fully lying in the midst of all the wreckage, stretched out a towel. It's like, this is as good a place as any. Sure, we have, like, miles of absolutely untouched, beautiful beach, either side, but I'll stay here.
Sorry, Shannon, I do love you, but there is a difference between the rescue people can deal with these dead bodies and I'm just gonna sunbathe next to them.
Boone comes over and says, like, oh, do you want to come help? We're going through the clothes and sorting them. Inventory Helen says, thanks, finally. Some structure and organisation going on this island.
There we go. You can finally begin your pillaging of all the dead bodies.
I'm almost in, like, feeling like I want to check for when people change outfits.
Ooh.
Because we know on this show that people often will wear the same clothes, they get really grubby and like, worn out and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've never thought to actually look at whether people change outfits from, like, one episode to the next.
Yeah.
Or do they share clothes? These are the kind of questions that From deals with that Lost does not want to concern itself with.
I'm going to assign you the role of outfit checker.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, also, I know you haven't seen it, but I'm sorry, it will come up.
Yellow Jackets.
Alex talks about Yellow Jackets, a show I've never seen.
They do a really interesting job there of, like, swapping clothes. And they do things... One thing I found really fun in Yellow Jackets is one of the girls takes the seatbelt and makes, like, a belt out of the seatbelt. And I was like, oh, that's some fun ingenuity. And I don't know if we see things like that happen in Lost, but I will be keeping an eye out for it.
Lost absolutely does not concern itself with those kinds of questions, is all I'll say about that. It's like, we got bigger things going on this island.
But this scene between Shannon and Claire is really nice.
Yeah, I think they have a nice little connection. And the way that Claire goes, I used to have a stomach. And Shannon doesn't really know how to respond, but she doesn't want to be a nasty person. You can see that she's... In this episode, we see her on the first stage of her redemption arc, which is that she sees the guy on the plane and says, oh, I think I was mean to him. He didn't let us have our seats in first class. So I think when Claire approaches her, she has this kind of thing in the back of her mind of like, okay, maybe like how can I behave with someone and not be a total dick? And she doesn't really know how to do it.
You can sort of see the cogs turning of be like, how do I be nice to you? And when she's like, do you know what it is? It's like, yeah, it's a fucking baby.
And Claire is so sympathetic to Shannon as well. She is kind of reaching out in a way that is really, really speaks well of her character, I think.
Yeah. Claire is one of those people that you'd be like, never has a bad word to say about anyone, and is always trying to find the good in people and do the right thing.
She does have like this quite a sort of innocent aura, I guess. She sort of exudes a sense of goodness and lightness and good vibes to the people around her. She asks whether Boone is Shannon's boyfriend, and actually, like, we as the viewer don't know the answer to this yet. We've seen them interact, but we don't know about their relationship. And honestly, they are believable as boyfriend and girlfriend pretty much. During this episode, their sibling dynamic really comes out into force in a nice way, but they could also have been in a relationship. It wouldn't be unrealistic.
He's God's frigging gift to humanity.
And the way she said that line, it kind of made me pause and think a bit. Apart from the fact that it's his name, the actual word boon means a benefit, something good to have. And I was like, wow, yeah, they really went for the ironic nominative determinism on this on this bit. Next thing that I have is Michael saying, "Have you seen my boy?" That's the "Have you seen my boy" klaxon going off. He's looking for Walt.
It's interesting that Michael is saying this and Sun looks at Jin. She doesn't immediately reply to Michael, and reply in Korean obviously, but it's like, is she looking at Jin for permission to talk to Michael? Is she looking at Jin to check if he's watching before she replies, as if him being around will impact what she says to Michael?
Yeah, I think it's a little column A, a little column B, because we know from the last episode that he basically said to her, "You're going to do what I tell you, you're going to make sure, you're never going to be out of my sight, where I go you will follow." So I think that the idea of anyone interacting with her is she needs to first check what Jin's situation is before she can even have any kind of interaction with them, because if he was to think that she was doing something secretly or behind his back, then he's not going to like it. And you can see her sort of trying to figure out what is the way to deal with this, and she ultimately replies to him in Korean. The very fact that she's replying in Korean, which he can't understand, he kind of takes to be like, okay, I get it, you can't help me. There is a little hint of sexual tension between them, right?
This is the second time you've pointed out some chemistry that I'm like, I don't know. And maybe I'm just
follow the thread, because this is a thread that will be with us for a little while.
We have 3 characters in this scene, Helen. What do we do when there are 3 characters in a scene?
Are we doing it now? Oh, how exciting for me. Okay.
3 characters in a scene. You know what that means. It's time for Fuck, Marry, or Kill. Fuck, Marry, or Kill.
Shag, Marry, Kill, Sun, Jin, and Michael.
Yeah.
Based on what we know about their characters at this point.
Yeah. Based on what we know.
Obviously, I'm killing Jin.
We obviously have to kill Jin. Yeah.
Soz, Daniel Day Kim. And then we don't know anything really about Sun's character at this point, because she hasn't spoken any English.
We don't. But what we do know about Michael at the moment is that he seems to have quite a fractured, tenuous relationship with his son, which I think what we know thus far does not lend him to...
You're saying it's not marriage material?
Not marriage material.
I'm going to turn that around, though, and say, we don't know anything about Sun. She hasn't been able to communicate with anyone, but we do see her do the defiant unbuttoning of the cardigan later on.
That's
so
true.
We get a little bit of sense of who she is.
Yeah.
And, I mean... I agree with you that Michael is not giving marriage material. He's giving deadbeat dad. We'll have a lot to say about Michael when we get there.
Yes.
He's not a deadbeat dad.
Yes. But this is what we have learnt so far. Also, from what we've learnt so far, I don't know if I would want to be married to someone who doesn't speak English. I feel like that would be an incredibly lonely life.
My original thought was going to be kill Jin, shag Sun because she's hot, and marry Michael. So I think I might just have to go with my gut and
I'm actually really torn. Do I go with who seems to be deadbeat dad energy, or do I go with will not speak my language? I think I could teach Sun English, or I could learn some Korean. So I think I'm gonna, I guess, shag Michael, marry Sun.
You're right with that?
Kill Jin. I mean, all right is a strong term, but...
In the last episode, we talked about the kind of villainization of Jin, and that Jin is being positioned in a really specific way at this point, and it's all about him sort of being quite dominating over Sun and sort of controlling, and that is just if we had any ambiguity about that last time, it's just doubled down. He tells her to do up her cardigan when she's talking to Michael, later when he's doing the the fish situation, and she sort of reaches to, I guess, try and help him. He like smacks her hand away in a way that we're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
So we're just like, it's not a good time for Jin. Walt finds the handcuffs, and then Michael immediately finds Walt. I kept thinking every time I saw that like, if you're a kid of Walt's age and you find a pair of handcuffs, you're going to be like, sweet, I'm going to hold on to these, have them as my own private treasure, and then in 2 to 3 weeks someone will happen to see me playing with them and ask where they came from. It was a little bit too convenient that Michael finds them at exactly that moment and like is like, oh, what's that?
Also Walt saying, oh, I'm so close to the beach, I thought I'd be okay here. And it's like, you're literally in the middle of the jungle.
I think because the jungle is so thick, you could be like just 3 meters into the jungle and it would still look like a lot of jungle.
I guess it didn't take Jack that long to run from the bamboo forest. Well, he was
running pretty fast. Yep. But yeah, Michael is being kind of a terrible father figure, as per usual. And we cut quickly to this fight between Sawyer and Saeed.
Yeah, which Jack immediately inserts himself into. And
starts I mean, the thing is that up until the point where Jack returns, they are literally just having like a full-on fight, and everyone else is kind of just watching. Even Michael, who is there, and he's like, "Oh, guys, stop!" He's really making no attempt at all to actually prevent anything from happening. Sawyer takes a handful of sand and throws it at Saeed, which is like such a crazy, down low, dirty. It really like that. I mean, if we're building like a picture of who is Sawyer as a person, that one action gave us so much more than any like line of dialogue. Jack arrives, like you said, and sort of immediately steps in. But you know when the fighting actually stops? When Kate says, "Stop!"
But then she's like, "Stop fighting. We don't care about Saeed being racially profiled. We need to talk about this transceiver."
She clearly has the leadership potential that this group needs. When she shouts, people listen.
Yeah.
And she does have something important to say. I kind of like the way, obviously I don't like Sawyer's extremely racist behaviour, but I do like the way that they're building up these sort of like various different both alliances, allegiances, conflicts. We're like building the lines along which these characters are going to be running for the next season or so.
Yeah.
Hurley tries to say something in Saeed's defense, and Sawyer is rude to him as well, and sort of says, I think he says like, "Shut up, Lardo," or something.
He does indeed. Shut up, Lardo.
Simply hate to see Hurley sad.
I know.
My heart breaks for him. I love him. And we also have these nice, like, Hurley and Saeed connect, later on.
Yes.
When Saeed is fixing the transceiver and Hurley just kind of comes up. And they have, like, I just love their little moment together.
Yeah.
All of it. And it's such a beautiful performance from Jorge Garcia as well. The way that he sort of like, "Oh, I'm Hurley, by the way," reaches to shake his hand, and then it's like, "You're busy." But then Saeed does want to shake his hand. And they say to each other, "Oh, you're okay. I like you." And it's just like a beautiful little bromance.
Yeah, it is very cute.
Also, that wonderful line where Saeed is like, he's taking the high ground with regards to Sawyer and saying, well, some people have problems. And Hurley's like, yeah, some people have problems. Us. Him. Beautiful.
Also, I love Hurley being like, "Oh, you fought in the Gulf War? Yeah, I had a buddy in the Gulf War."
Oh, yeah. And it's a funny little exchange.
It's just like Hurley, almost in a similar way to Claire, just like being good vibes and always like assuming the best, and like doesn't even cross his mind to be like, "Oh yeah, I guess you fought for the other side."
And also that it doesn't really, like, you see him have to sit with it a little bit when he finds out that information, but it's not as if it turns him against Saeed.
No.
Or makes him think, "Oh, now I have to reconsider anything about whether I think you're an okay person or not." It's just like, okay, well, didn't see that coming. You know how last time you were really bothered about how Jack, instead of getting to know people and learn their names, shouted, hey you, at Hurley?
Yes.
He does it again this episode.
Oh, does it? Oh my god, I skipped over it that time.
when he first approaches Hurley and tells him to start to like find the medicine, the antibiotics, he literally just shouts, "Hey," and I was like, Alex is gonna fucking hate this. But by the time Hurley helps him, with the marshal, he has learned that his name is Hurley. So at some point between those two
at some point,
and this kind of thread of thinking also made me think about the fact that, like, I am so terrible with names and faces. I would be going around being like, so does anyone else think that we should do like name tags? Could we do some like, maybe some of those like icebreaker getting to know each other games? Because I would be full on panicking about the number of names that I had to learn in a very short space of time.
Yeah, Helen in a plane crash. Step 1, pillage the dead bodies. Step 2, find some pens and paper and give everyone a name tag.
We're like, has anyone seen any safety pins?
But after the fight scene, Sawyer says, whatever you say, Doc, you're the hero.
It is also kind of nice for someone else to put that that label on Jack, because we've seen him behaving as the quote-unquote hero, kind of inserting himself into various situations. And I certainly have a note about that coming up. And sort of being, he's the doctor, he's the one who has the knowledge and the ability to, like, save people. But it's also about how he positions himself as like a moral authority among the other members of the group. That is, I think, what Sawyer makes him calls out this kind of like hero complex that Jack has.
And then it's time for the
gratuitous underwear shot.
The gratuitous underwear shot.
I mean, I've always, when I've seen this scene before, I've always thought like, oh God, here we go. Gotta have some women in their underwear. But I actually found 2 things to appreciate about it this time. 3 things if you include Sun. First of all, Kate is washing herself in her underwear, and she is wearing kind of quite a grotty beige bra. Yeah. I think if you're doing this scene for like the titillation of the male viewers, you're probably going for something like black and lacy. And this is very much a bra that a woman would wear. So I have to give them credit for that.
the bar is on the floor.
Yeah, the bra is on the floor. The other thing is, while she's like washing herself, she also puts her hair up into like a messy bun in a way that is very true to life. Like if you're in a post-plane crash situation, you got to get your hair up. You can't be having your hair down, causing problems, getting in the way, sweaty. You need to put it up. And I loved the fact that she did put it up. Unfortunately, when she goes on the hike, it's down again. So I was like, well, okay. Or maybe not on the hike, but in the next scene. And I was like, you just put your hair up. Anyway. She does have a little moment with Sun. Kate and Sun, you might not think that there's anything to this, that they have like a little budding sexual tension. I'm just saying it's a thread that we will follow. There will be more moments of this. I'm not crazy.
Okay, I've never noticed this, but I'm willing to go on this journey with you. And then Kate like nods at her, and I'm like, what? Do you have any idea what Sun is talking about? As far as you're aware, she's just like...
Well, she doesn't speak Korean, but she's just connecting, She's like, you, me, 2 women in a situation. And that's called female solidarity, Alex.
I'm so sorry. That's Lost being a feminist show.
Never forget, Lost is a feminist text. Just kidding, this show hates women.
So I'm just looking back over minutes. I think this might technically be the first scene that lets this episode pass the Bechdel test.
Wait, that can't be, because Sun speaks to Kate, but Kate doesn't speak back to her, so there isn't...
Oh, that's true. They don't talk to each other.
Also, we don't know what Sun is saying. It might be about a man.
That's true. Okay.
But, I mean...
Fail on the Bechdel test.
But wait, they would have passed earlier when Claire and Shannon were talking.
They're talking about Boone. Oh, wait. I guess they're talking about the baby.
Which is also a boy, according to Claire in this episode.
Let's move on. Kate's talking to Saeed. They need to get some signal bars. They need to go to higher ground. And Kate says, how high? And then we get a very dramatic high rise up the mountain.
Kate has many great qualities, but apparently she's a bit slow. Because when she's instructed to look up a mountain, she can't simply look up immediately to the highest point. She has to sort of let her gaze
start at the bottom,
follow the ridges of the... I mean, it's so silly. And he's just like, are you okay, love? Like, what happened? I've lost you.
However, shout out to the MVP, Michael Giacchino, who makes the scene work despite the ridiculous
It's so good.
Pan up the mountain.
When obviously we see the very top of that mountain, and I'm like, that's a long way. That's got to be a full day's hike. That you're going to have to camp overnight once you get there. The show is just like, no, don't worry about it.
I have a lot of questions about the general terrain and hiking and how it all works, because later when we see them like hiking, they're literally going up a almost vertical mountain. I'm like, is that
vertical incline? It's so ridiculous.
Is that the best way?
I mean, we had this conversation last time about Kate and her shoes, and Jack like forces her to go get some hiking boots off a dead woman because Kate's shoes aren't appropriate.
Do we have the same note here?
Well, we never see Shannon's shoes, but I am really not willing to believe. I mean, she's fully in flip-flops, right? She's like, there's no way she's taking someone else's hiking boots.
No, like Shannon does not have her own hiking boots. I don't think she. Although to be fair, she has been sunbathing next to the dead bodies, so I guess she must be fairly acquainted with them by now.
I could not confirm nor deny, but I choose to believe that she did that full, extremely intensive, multiple-hour hike in flip-flops. Kate and Jack have this conversation about the marshal. Kate is kind of inquiring about, is he going to be all right? And Jack explains that, you know, he assumed that the guy would be at a hospital by now, but since there is no help coming, he definitely has to remove this thing because otherwise the guy will get like sepsis and die, which is also super logical. Like, yes. Honestly, love in a TV show for someone to behave logically around a thing that is stuck in someone's body, because they so rarely do. But when Jack says, oh, he, you know, if I can get the antibiotics, if I can stop the bleeding, if this, that, and the other, then maybe he'll be all right. And Kate gives us like the tiniest little reaction of that those of us who know, and we all know by the end of the episode, of course, that she is the criminal, you can just read the smallest little shift in her demeanor. She's maybe not thrilled. And Jack, of course, when Kate says we're going to do this hike and try and get to high ground so we can do the transceiver, oh my god, the Jack hate that poured out of my being as he initially says, no, don't go. And then when she says, no, I'm going, he's like, okay, but wait for me, I'll come with you. And she's like, no, we're going to go now. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Kate does not need your permission. She did not come to you and ask, is it okay if I go on this hike, Jack, leader of us? No, because it's not his decision. She is an autonomous human being. She is like an equally as competent, if not more competent in this scenario than he is. Why do you think that you have the authority to tell her not to go or to tell her to wait for you? And honestly, like, the only thing that saves that scene for me is the fact that Kate just fully is ignoring him and is just like, I don't know what you're talking about because I'm going to go do it anyway.
But also, she still feels the need to keep him in the loop. Like, she can do what she wants. She doesn't need to go around and tell everyone she's going on a hike, but she's still like, just so you know.
He's so awful in this scene. It really, really wound me up. And the fact that he also is like, if you see anything, run. It's like, oh, thanks, Jack. I wouldn't have thought of that on my own. What a good job that I have you to tell me how I should behave in these scenarios. Ugh, what a douche.
If Jack has no haters, I'm dead.
Also a slight irony to the idea of someone telling Kate to run. For those of us who know.
Next scene.
Jin is preparing some raw seafood for a pregnant woman. I mean, it's good. I don't know if this is true, but I assume that in Japan, where like sushi is such a big part of their diet, probably pregnant women do eat raw fish, I guess. Yeah, they're actually encouraged to eat sushi, according to Reddit.
Wow.
So Jin is preparing this like raw seafood. We actually like good, you know, this is nice. He's actually trying to do something for the wider community, right?
Yeah, it's interesting after last week being like, it's you and me, son. Fuck everyone else. Don't talk to them. Don't look at them. We will survive. And now he's being like, oh, here's some fish. Does anyone want some fish?
Yeah, and he doesn't make any attempt to sort of like explain this change of thinking to San or let her be kind of part of the decision-making process. He's just like, now I'm doing this thing that is completely inconsistent with what I said last time. When she kind of reaches for the plate, it's not clear if she wants to help or just take some for herself. But he smacks her hand away,
like,
previously
away.
discussed. Hate that.
Yeah. But then as he leaves, she then unbuttons her shirt.
Because she's sassy. And like, I mean, we love Hurley, but Hurley's reaction to this food being offered is pretty racist.
Incredibly rude.
I mean, it hurts. It hurts to see the way he laughs in his face and says like, "I'm starving, but I'm not eating that." Like, bro, come on.
Yeah. Also, like, Jin doesn't even understand you, so you're just being rude for the sake of being rude. Like.
Well, Claire, the heavily pregnant woman, is the one person who does accept the raw fish, but that's probably fine, as we established. But then she feels the baby move, and she hasn't felt it since the plane crash.
Oh my god!
And like speaking about Claire being a beacon of light, the way that she is determined to engage Jin in this like deliriously happy moment, and is like, you don't have a choice, you have to be deliriously happy with me.
I also really love. It's like a really nice moment of like. Their human connection is like transcending the fact he doesn't speak the language and doesn't know what's happening, but then like as she puts his hand on her stomach and when he feels it, he like sort of can't help himself like smile and be happy about it, even though up till now we've just seen him be like grumpy man who doesn't want to engage with people. Even when he's offering the fish, she doesn't know what anyone's saying, they can't communicate, but then he has that moment of like, oh, this is nice, and I think it's really nice.
But initially he's really, really resistant as well, and he looks deeply uncomfortable. She takes his hand and is going to put it on her belly. He is really like, whoa, I don't want any part of this. Like, I don't, get me out of here. But you're right, it does turn into this really lovely moment.
Yeah, with some beautiful strings from Giacchino. And then he like, it's sort of like he's had this outer body experience of being happy and being like, oh, and then he's like, oh wait, no, I'm not supposed to be doing this. And then he like hurries off again. It's like, no.
Yeah. Who else would eat the raw fish? Jack would say no, because he would be like, I'm far too important and have important things to do.
Sawyer would refuse and be racist about it.
Exactly. He would say no and call him a racial slur. Saeed probably has his own food situation. He's probably like, no, I don't need to take it. I have my own food. Like, he's probably got his, and I apologise for the racist accent, but...
I was going to say, are we doing accents?
The only reason why I think it's okay to make fun of Saeed's accent is because he himself has like a London accent, and he himself is doing an accent for the show.
The first time I heard Naveen Andrews speak, I was like, oh, okay, he's just like a proper geezer, like. I was like, oh, okay.
We actually go to a scene with Michael and Walt next, where we learn that Michael truly does not know his son at all. He's like, this guy could be walking down the street, I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this 10-year-old boy. Like, he's like, oh, the comic's in Spanish. Do you speak Spanish? And then later when he's talking to Jack...
Yeah, when he asks how old he is.
He asks how old he is, and he says 9. 10. And it's like, oh, this guy really does not know his son.
I've not really thought about it much before, but the order in which they have like centric episodes and who we learn about quickly versus who we have these like instant island impressions for that the show just sort of allows to continue. Because I think Michael's episode is not till, I want to say like 11 or 12, which means like we get a good half the season before we really find out. So the show is quite happy to just keep him as deadbeat dad character.
That's crazy. That is crazy. And like I said, we see him have zero emotional intelligence when he's like, I'll get you another dog. Like, dude.
Yeah, we get a couple of like quick flashes of Charlie. At first I was like, oh, Charlie's burying his heroin. Oh no, he's just snorting it. Or does he snort it then, or does he rub it on his teeth? Either way, I don't think those are either things you do with heroin, are they?
This is what one website that seems to be some kind of like harm reduction website says, but you can reduce harm by smoking or snorting it or putting it up your bum instead of injecting.
Which I'm sort of surprised, because isn't that like a way that people famously smuggle drugs? So why didn't Charlie do that? Because then maybe he could smuggle it, and if some leaks out,
all the merrier.
Get the benefits as well. It's a win-win situation. There's like this tiny little bit of Jack asking Harley to find the antibiotics. I'm
just happy for the inventorying, okay? Like, I appreciate that we're collecting the drugs, but could we be like maybe sorting and storing some of these other things as well? Like, there's useful items here, guys.
Shannon is crying, and I think this is a good step on her redemption / being in touch with realism. It's very Willow at the end of season 1 of Buffy, when she's watching like the TV screen with the blood on it, and she's like, I knew those guys and now they're dead. I get the same vibe of Shannon looking at this guy and being like, he saved our lives because he didn't let us have our seats in first class, and I was mean to him.
I've written down Queen Shannon, therapy speak legend, because she is way ahead of all the rest of us when it comes to talking about her trauma, and using the fact that she's gone through a trauma to excuse the fact that she is being extremely self-centered. In this scene between Shannon and Boone, the sibling dynamic really jumps out. The way that
I hated this.
Why did you hate it?
It's just, it just gives me such secondhand embarrassment, and it just makes me want to shrivel inside myself.
Because it is like they reverted to some kind of like childhood or teenage form of themselves, right? When they're sort of like just sniping at each other, and they're like arguing, they're talking over each other, and they're kind of both like going for each other's like weak points, and sort of it felt really real, and I think that's why it felt uncomfortable.
Yes, sorry, I should say I don't hate it as in like it was badly written. I mean, I hated it because it was so uncomfortable to watch, and like the way he's patronizing, like, this is what she does, she makes really bad decisions that upset her family,
which right now is me. Like, yeah, he, and like she goes, shut up and stop trying to be charming. Like, this is clearly like a thing in their world, is that like she's the worthless person who brings nothing to the table. Boone is sort of has this kind of like moral superiority and is this kind of like charming guy who puts everyone at ease, while she is kind of like has nothing to offer. It felt like we will obviously find out more about their sibling relationship, but just from what we've seen here, you can feel the depth of this as being probably something that's really coloured them as people. And you see it again later when they are up and they're doing she's listening to the French thing. It takes her such a long time to be convinced that she is capable of doing this, because she has really taken to heart this message that she is worthless.
That she's useless. Yeah.
He wants her to help. He keeps telling her, come on, help out. We're doing this now. Don't you want to do something rather than just lying there? But he also reinforces the message that she is worthless and that she has nothing to contribute.
I love her.
Saeed does a really funny little face when she says, oh, I'm coming with you. He kind of goes like, ooh.
Yeah, I also enjoyed Charlie's, are you going? Yeah, are you going? Oh yeah, I'm definitely going then.
And then we just have a standard, just a normal hike, vertically climbing up vines. Yeah. A completely normal physical activity that everybody, regardless of how well trained they are, is able to do.
Yeah. Or what you have on your feet. Maybe flip-flops. But the hiking music, the iconic, the score is here.
I fucking love it.
Incredible. Thank you. We get this tiny little scene between Jack and Michael. Oh, and that's when Jack tells Michael that, oh yeah, the dog is around here somewhere. It's in the jungle. That's
brilliant. When Michael goes, he's looking for his dog. The dog was on the plane. So, kind of implicitly saying, that dog dead. And Jack's like, oh, is it a lab? Yeah, I saw him the other day. He's fine. He's in great shape.
Also, their dialogue exchange, I saw him yesterday in the jungle. Where? In the jungle.
In the jungle.
In the jungle.
That away.
And also, like, if you want any more specific than that, it was yesterday, so he's probably moved by now. Like, the important information is not the exact location. The important information is Vincent lives.
We then have Walt looking to play backgammon against Locke. I have a question.
Okay.
Was Locke going to play backgammon against himself until Walt showed up? Because he was setting up the board. I was like, this seems terrible, but okay.
So I don't know anything about backgammon and how it works, but I got the impression that he was just sort of doing it for fun, for his own amusement. Because I was going to be like, maybe he was waiting for just anyone to play with him. But also, we haven't seen Locke talk to anyone or make any friends or make any stride toward being social with people. So maybe he wasn't. He was just setting it up and was like,
I mean,
well,
you could play backgammon against yourself because it is quite a luck-based game. There's like, you roll dice and the number you have on the dice enables you to make moves. So you could, I suppose, but it wouldn't be terribly rewarding. But I guess you're right. He probably was just waiting for someone to come along. I think also, though, this adds to the kind of Locke's mystique of like, does he have some kind of like mystical ability? You know, did he know that Walt would be coming by and therefore he's ready with the little talk about there are two sides, one is light, one is dark. And I really love the little bit in that scene where Locke's saying it's an ancient game from before when Jesus was alive, and Walt says, did they have dice? And Locke goes, yeah, but they weren't made of plastic, they would have been made of bone. And Walt goes, cool. I was like, yeah, that is exactly what a 10-year-old boy would think about that. He would just be like, bone, cool.
Oh, this whole scene is just amazing. Like, the dialogue between them, the dynamic between them, Locke being fucking weird and Walt being like, I'm all by myself and I hate my dad. This guy is interesting.
I mean, the deadpan delivery after Locke finds out that, like, Walt's mom died 2 weeks ago
God.
and now he's been in a plane crash and he goes, you're having a bad month. I was just like, comedy king.
Yeah, and Walt just like,
He's
I
like,
guess.
I guess so. Like, yeah, Bob, this is a bad month. I know you haven't lived that much life yet, but this is one of the worst months when your mum dies and you're in a plane crash.
And yeah, then as you already said, but it just needs to be repeated. 2 players, 2 sides. One is light, one is dark. And it just like holds onto it for just that, like a couple of seconds extra that you're like, this isn't just a meaningless talk about backgammon. This means something.
This means something. And then he kind of leans in a bit and says to Walt, hey, Walt. And you kind of, in a poorer show, he might follow up by saying something like, which side will you be? But instead he goes, do you want to know a secret? And we don't know what the secret is. It is a secret to us as well.
Yeah, it just sets Locke up so perfectly. Because it's like, does he know something? Is he an evil person? Is he just very wise? What is going on?
Mystical.
Did he crash the plane?
It's giving mystical vibes, you know.
Yes, I love it.
We follow the hikers on their hike. They are having a little argument.
Yeah, and Saeed, we might not have any juice left.
Honestly, like, what is Sawyer's deal? He is so insistent about, like, try the transceiver, and Saeed's like, no, we should get to higher ground. And Sawyer's like, well, just try it now. Why don't you just try it? It's like,
Yeah.
Why are you making, like, do you hate hiking? Because honestly, no one asked you to come. Like, no one, you could just not come on the hike if that is your concern.
Yeah.
Like, you signed up to take the transceiver to high ground, so you have to be on board with us getting to high ground before we try it out. And then later, when they are in fact at the high ground, and Saeed's like, "Okay, let's try it now." He's like, "Oh, now you want to try it?"
Like,
yeah, because
we're higher
reached
up.
the point.
This was
You
the point
have
of the
no
hike.
argument here. He's so annoying.
Yeah, Sawyer does not come off well in this episode.
But anyway, their shouting prompts something in the bushes to react and start running towards them, as Charlie astutely observes. And there's this incredible reaction from Shannon as everyone is starting to realize that, like, oh, we need to leg it, and she's flailing. Her arms are fully like, and she screams, "I shouldn't have come on this hike." I mean, the Shannon flail is so good. She actually does it earlier as well when she's arguing with Boone, and she sort of like is wresting herself out of his grasp. She does this real flail with her arms as she like runs, and I mean, it's so joyous to just see, like, she's so kind of out of place in this situation, and all she can do is just like run and flail and scream, and she genuinely has no concern for anyone but herself. Her only thought in this moment of mortal danger is, I shouldn't have come on this hike.
This should have been
it's
your
fine
guys'
that everyone
business.
else is about to die, just not me.
Oh, and what comes out of the jungle, Helen?
A polar bear.
It's a polar bear.
You know, I don't think polar bears live in this kind of climate. Spot on.
This isn't just a bear. It's a polar bear. So what's really interesting is that this is the moment that is like oft cited by people as this is where Lost jumped the shark. And it's like, we haven't even got a shark yet. This is the pilot of the show.
I think it's a good litmus test, though, because if you are not on board with a polar bear showing up in the jungle in season 1, episode 2, then this isn't the show for you. Like, that's how it is. In a way, it's good that there's a polar bear in season 1, episode 2, so that all the people who are like, this is too much for me, we can just, like, cull them immediately. And the rest of us who love, like, mysteries and supernatural theories can, you know, enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
Speaking of mysteries and supernatural theories, one of the really common fan theories at the time when this was on air was that, like, well, Walt must have kind of manifested the polar bear because there was a polar bear in his comic that he was reading, and now there's mysteriously a polar bear which couldn't possibly live in the jungle. I mean, that makes sense. Obviously, it requires us to believe that Walt is magical, but if we overlook that, then, like, it does really work because, I mean, why is this fucking polar bear here?
So, I guess my question to you, do you think that the polar bear's true purpose was sort of intended all along?
Good question. I obviously think it's intentional that they have Walt look at the comic book with the polar bear. Perhaps at this stage it was just too early to have any firm decisions about the whys and wherefores of the polar bear. They're just leaving it as a possibility. We can explore this avenue if we want to.
Yeah. Anyway, the entire, like, that scene of everyone is just like comedy gold after comedy gold. Like, where did that come from? Probably Bear Village. Not the bear, the gun.
But yeah, and then the amazing bit where people are questioning, like, oh, why did you take the gun? And he's like, I thought it might come in handy. Guess what? I just shot a bear. And then this brilliant thing where, like, Kate grabs the gun off of him. She's holding it, pointing at him, and she goes, does anyone know how to use a gun? Charlie, the voice of
pull the trigger.
He just pull the trigger. And Saeed goes, he's got this, like, really beatific smile on his face, and he just goes, don't use the gun. Like, he's kind of happy that Kate has turned the tables on Sawyer, but he's also like, don't shoot him, it's fine. And then obviously she has her whole thing about, like, no, how do I take it apart? And she's following the instructions from Saeed, and first the cartridge comes out, and then he says, oh no, but it's still loaded. And so she kind of points at Sawyer again. And we get this amazing reaction from Sawyer where he's just looking at her and he has this, like, tiny smile on his face, as if to say, like, I can see right through you.
After what I said earlier about me picking up on absolutely zero chemistry at all, this from Sawyer towards Kate, I was like, oh yeah, there is something between them there. Or at least something from Sawyer towards Kate.
Oh, totally. There is, like, massively sexual tension between them. I mean, when she has dismantled the gun, and then he goes to her, like, I know your type. I've been with girls like you. We know, those of us who know the show, that he's saying to her, like, game recognize game. It's going to be really interesting to watch how they are with each other as the early parts of the show go on, where he sort of come clean to her about the fact that, like, I can see right through you. I know that this is all an act.
Yeah.
And, like, how will she behave knowing that information that knowing that he knows that about her?
Yeah.
And also her response, not girls exactly like me. Ooh, girl!
I'm not like other girls.
Yeah. But, there's massively, like, a sexual tension there. And they have, the two of them have always had that, like, I say have always, this is episode 2, but they will always have that kind of, like, sparky connection, I think.
Yeah.
So Jack has given Hurley the job of holding the marshal down. He's learned Hurley's name at this point, and for that we are grateful.
Yeah.
Hurley, when he realizes what his job is, says, I gotta tell you, like, I'm not good with blood.
There are 48 people that have survived this crash. Maybe you don't pick the one person that can't look at blood. Pick anyone else.
I mean, I agree. I also have some degree of sympathy for Jack, because I'm like, what is he going to do? He's just gotten himself ready to, like, perform surgery, basically. Is he going to have to go down the island again, find someone else? Like, he wants to just get going.
Yeah.
But Jack is not sympathetic in this scene when he's just like, fucking just don't look. It's like, I don't think that's how it works when you have, like, a phobia of seeing blood. Like,
yeah,
it's the fact that the thing is happening that freaks you out, not, like, just the fact that you are seeing blood.
Not the sight of it. Also, I did really enjoy Hurley's, "Hey guy, are you awake? There's a rescue plane. We're saved." Yeah, he's out.
It's cute. It's cute. What does Jack think of Hurley, and what does Hurley think of Jack at this point? They never really connect as people, do they? They never really have like a friendship between the two of them.
It's this like sort of, not quite clash of personalities, but just like almost existing in totally different spheres, like totally different mindsets between the two of them. Because Hurley is very like, yeah, like cruise along and deal with things as they happen, and Jack's very like, no, high pressure. Why aren't you worried about this thing? Why aren't you doing this?
Yeah, that is true. The mind of Jack cannot comprehend a Hurley, basically.
No.
He's like, you appear to be kind of a relaxed dude who is accepting of other people and just allows things to unfold as they do. Couldn't be me.
And then a bit later we get the scene where the Marshal obviously wakes up, and as we've previously discussed, the first thing he says is, "Where is she?" And then we get a hard cut to Kate.
Oh, I fucking love this scene. It has so much, and it's so like peak Lost. The way that it really takes us on this journey of like, it gives us hope, it pulls it away, it builds it up, it destroys us. Like, oh, it's so beautiful.
So we have a bar of signal.
We have
Let's
signal.
go.
We have something's blocking the signal. Oh, we have a transmission, and like that kind of like spark of optimism and like, we're saved. Oh, the French are coming.
Yeah.
I've never been
I've
so
never
happy
been
to
so
hear
happy
the
to hear the
French.
French.
And this sort of like, it pulls us along, us the viewer, even those of us who've seen the show a bunch of times. You can't help feeling a tiny little internal reaction of just like, oh great, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And then obviously you get the French message, and Saeed counts out the iterations and realizes, he starts doing some maths. And realizes that this message has been playing for 16 years.
Yeah. They need to understand the French. And does anyone speak French? And this is where Shannon comes into her own, or Boone forces her into the spotlight and be like, she will speak French. This is our second Yellow Jackets comp of the episode. You tune out for a second, Helen. There is a point in Yellow Jackets in which one character starts speaking French, and everyone's like, who speaks French? Does anyone speak French? And someone's like, I don't. I suck at French. And they're like, well, damn it. Try not to suck. And that is very much, Sawyer, do you speak French or not? Because that would be nice.
It's a nice little moment. We love to see Shannon win, although it turns out not to be so great when we hear what the message contains.
Quite a devastating win.
Yeah, but actually, speaking of the Shannon-Boone dynamic, she does translate the message, and it does make all of our hearts sink, but credit to Boone, he does go like, that was really good. Or like, that was good or something. He does give her the validation that she needs, even while they're all like dealing with the fact that like, this message that says it killed them all has been going for 16 years.
Sawyer really frustrates me. Like, everything he's saying, it's giving talking for the sake of talking, being antagonistic for the sake of being antagonistic. Like, when Saeed is counting out the iterations and is like,
don't forget to carry the one, Chief. Shut the fuck up.
Well, he also says, does anyone know what the hell he's talking about? And
it's like, yes,
he's quite clearly
saying that the number is increasing by 1 each time because it's counting. Like, this isn't fucking rocket science, you dickhead.
And then when Shannon is like reading out the message, and he's just like, or she's not saying that. You don't even speak French. It's like, come
truly, on. like Sawyer, what are you bringing to the table?
Yeah.
Okay, you shot a bear, but like, what are you actually contributing with at this time? Fuck all. So keep your fucking mouth shut and like let the people who are trying to help actually help.
Leave Shannon alone, Sawyer.
Yeah, that sucked.
I do think there is a bit of a leap when they're like, maybe someone came and rescued them. Well, if someone came, why is the message still playing?
Yeah, because they've got to turn it off.
Yeah, I think there is a world in which they did get rescued and they simply, forgot to turn off the transmission. But for storytelling purposes, fine, we'll accept. Nobody came for these French people for 16 years.
Yeah.
And then...
Guys.
Where are we? Classic. Chills. No notes.
It's
10 out of 10.
really, it's the way they build to that moment at the end is really nice, because they aren't actually having a conversation about where are we placed geographically.
Yeah.
Or they've just come to the realization that, like,
What the fuck is
this message has been transmitting for 16 years, apparently without anyone hearing it. Therefore, we must be somewhere extremely remote or unreachable. Everyone's kind of thinking the same thing, and Charlie just puts it into words.
And also there's a
Guys,
polar bear.
where are we? Yeah, there was also a polar bear, that's true.
You might say there's weird jungle noises and a polar bear. What the fuck is going on over there?
I would say that.
As some
To sum it up,
wise lyricists once said.
It emphasizes the overall question that the show wants us to be asking, which is sort of like, what is going on here? What is this place? Seems pretty fucking mystical or, supernatural.
Yeah.
Okay, take us to Connor's Corner. If you want aviation or medical information, welcome to Connor's Corner.
When Shannon is sunbathing, we're going to eat her first.
Oh, okay. We went straight into cannibalism. I'm sorry, but you wouldn't eat Shannon first because she has basically
There's
no
nothing
meat on the
her.
bones. Yeah.
No offense, Hurley, but I think Hurley's the first to.
No, because
First
for
go.
the meat you want muscle, right? You don't just want fat. Like if you think about the parts of an animal that you eat.
I mean, speak for yourself, Helen. I fucking love some fatty meat. Let's focus on some medical and science. It's nice to have some medical realism from Jack and the day-to-day diagnosis of the Marshall is
That's
changing.
what I said.
Yeah, and it just feels quite realistic that one day it's like we should keep it in there because this will help, and the next day, okay, no, the circumstances have changed. However, you would not just yank out the shrapnel. You would do some careful cutting around the shrapnel. As you mentioned, the plane wouldn't fly if the bat came off. It would just simply smash to the ground. Not fully his area of expertise, but in terms of the Marshal transferring Kate, they wouldn't do prison transfers with one agent, because what if he fell asleep? She could just leg it.
Well, they probably don't do them on commercial flights either.
Don't do them on commercial flights. And also, why do you need to handcuff her on the plane? Like, there is only so far she can get on a plane.
Yeah, that's true.
We also have some Connor theories, which I thought might be fun to put.
Okay.
Well, theory might be stretching it a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like a first time.
As a first-time viewer,
yeah.
He has made a prediction that Jin speaks English and doesn't want to tell everyone.
Ooh.
Some general thoughts about the episode. He's very annoyed that there's no overall group organisation. Everyone's just living their own lives and doing what they want. And he wants to see more survival. So far, they've not discussed any water. They vaguely discussed food. I did try to allay some of his fears and say, up till now, we've sort of thought that maybe a rescue boat is coming, famously. And now if we're realising there's no rescue boat coming, maybe now we're going to need to start thinking more long term.
But as a person who drinks a lot of water, I would have started to have those concerns about 20 minutes after I survived the plane crash. I would have been like, it's not all for me, but I am going to go around and find all the bottles of water that I can find, just so that I know that we've got water.
So in the Helen's plane crash survival checklist, is this before or after the name tags?
Easily before.
So is this step one?
Initially, I think my first thought would be where's my bag? Because that's my first thought in any scenario is because my bag has all the things in it that I need. Have I got all my essentials of life? Even though I'm on a desert island, my assumption is that that instinct would kick in. Other concerns that I would have in this tropical environment, sunburn. So I would be trying to get my hands on a big old hat because a hat with a really wide brim is way better than sun cream to...
Hopefully someone's brought a sombrero with them.
Hopefully someone died who brought a sombrero with them. No, I would be looking for a big old hat.
This is the aforementioned pillaging of the dead bodies. So you're doing
You
personal...
mean inventorying?
Sorry, yes. So your personal effects, then water, then inventorying, and then name tags.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I think
I mean, so I would also be concerned about shade. Everyone is on the beach, but I would be in the jungle. I would be like, guys, I'm going to be over here in the shade. So just so you know, probably Vincent would come and hang out. And then like no one would even see him because everyone else is on the beach apparently for some reason.
Everyone else is on the beach. You'd be forgotten, I hate to tell you. You've gone in the jungle. Everyone else is hanging out on the beach.
Not to be too foreshadowing, but being forgotten by this group of people is one of the best things that can happen to you on the island. If you can avoid being brought into the drama that is safe, that's a nice way to survive, especially if you have water.
I was going to say, there can't be that many, there aren't that many bottles of water on a plane. And also, they're normally like the teeny tiny little bottles, aren't they?
But people have their own water.
I guess, but you wouldn't bring that much. Like, if you're expecting to just be on a plane for like 12 hours or whatever, you're not going to bring days and days worth of water.
What would your go-to island survival and or preference situation things be?
I don't think I would be very helpful. I would just need to focus on me surviving and be like, if I'm just going to sit here and read a book because that's going to help me like not freak out and have a mental breakdown, that's what's got to happen. I'm not a mentally strong person, Helen.
I don't take this the wrong way, but I can really picture like Drax striding along the beach looking for some sort of tools and trying to get people to help and like calling out, and you just being like, I'm just going to read my book and hope that he doesn't approach me directly.
I mean, as we know, I'm turning into a real park run girly now, so I could run through the jungle, I'm sure. Do my 5k up and down the beach.
All right, I have the final question to round off the episode.
Heart can be physical, heart can be emotional. Heart is whatever we decide, and everyone's attractive, but who's top of the ranking? Who's the hottest one on this island?
Hot ranking. Who are you ranking as hottest from this episode? I think I think we'll do it like this. We say who we want to rank highest for this episode, and then we have to like rank them against the people who we chose last time so that we have like an overall ranking.
Okay, I have to admit I did not even think about who was the hottest here. Is it just Shannon sunbathing? But also Shannon was last week's.
You can say Shannon again.
I guess I'm just a real man.
A real red-blooded heterosexual man.
That's what they always say about me. Okay, top of the hot ranking, I'm so sorry, is once again Shannon, because she has got everything. Off screen, but she has given herself a pedicure. She's done some sunbathing, but also we've seen some humanity from her hair. And get you a girl who can do both, sunbathe and show humanity.
I am going to say it's Saeed.
Okay.
He delivers both aesthetic hotness and also like humanity hotness because of his little scene with Hurley. And he has this like his little smiles, his little sort of reactions to things. He is still giving us the sense that we had from last week that he is like a natural leader, that he is a really emotionally intelligent person. He is kind of delivering something that no one else was capable of in the whole transceiver situation, but also he's hot.
Yeah.
So
great.
I'm ranking them there. So I guess this puts Shannon by default at the top because she's had like 2 votes. You're like,
from me.
I can just manipulate the ranking.
My plan is coming into action.
So then the question is like, who's hotter overall, Kate or Saeed? Kate did have her gratuitous underwear shot, so the hotness is, we have to take that into account when considering hotness. All right, so we're going to say Shannon, Kate, Saeed. Newcomer on the ranking, Saeed. Let's round this shit off and get on with our days.
Okay, so that is us done for this week, and that is the pilot done. Don't forget, if you want to reach out to us, you can find us on socials. We're on Instagram at Dharma Fish Biscuits Pod, where that elusive hot ranking will be. If you've got something you want to say to us, you could email us at dharmafishbiscuitspod@gmail.com. We might reply. We might do a little mailbag episode. Where would that mailbag episode come up, Helen?
Oh, I think it would be on our Patreon, our free Patreon that you can join for free and just receive things at no cost to yourself, such as the spoilery version, the uncensored conversation, including spoilers, a little behind the scenes info, maybe some jingles. So join the Patreon, please. It is patreon.com/Dharma Fish Biscuits. You could also leave us a review.
Oh my God.
It's a big deal.
I would love that.
It's a big deal in the podcasting world. You may have heard every other podcast you ever listened to tell you it really helps us to reach new listeners.
And we are just like the other pods.
Please leave us a review. Say nice things. Don't tell us we're horrible and bad, because then we will cry and stop making the podcast.
5 stars. I will accept 4. Our next episode will be out in 2 weeks' time. We know part 1 and 2 of the pilot have come in a little 1-2 punch and sequential weeks, but now we'll be going back to our regularly scheduled programming of every fortnight for the episodes. That's every 2 weeks for you Americans. So join us in 2 weeks' time for episode 3, Tabula Rasa.
Whose episode is that?
It's a Kate episode. Ooh.
Whoop whoop. Well, this has been Dharma Fish Biscuits. I'm Helen.
I'm Alex. And I'll see you in another life, Helen.
See you in another life, brother.